Welcome to another installment of An Ounce of Help. In the last installment, we talked about an add-on called TooManyTabs, specifically for Google Chrome. In this installment, I want to talk about the same add-on, but for Firefox. Now, normally, add-ons are pretty much the same between two browsers, but in this case, the basic functionality is the same, but they are quite different. The way they look, the way they feel, and the Firefox side has a little bit more functionality. So we're going to take a few minutes and look through what is available on the Firefox side. So right now you're looking at a Firefox browser, and across the top you can see that I have 4 sites open. So as if I was doing some research on Jonathan Winters. You can see that there's no add-on visible at this point. The toggle is in the bottom right corner. So if you go down to the bottom right corner, you'll see a square, and if you click on it, it will open up the add-on at the top. So look at the top where the tabs are, and I'll click on this. And immediately you see more rows. And this is the huge difference between Google Chrome and Firefox. Firefox shows this to you in rows. And so we can see over here on the left that I've actually been able to give them names. So this first row here is a list of ebook sites, and the second row is a list of sites having to do with mobile technologies. So how do you work this? If you click on one of the titles, you can see that you have the option of at least 6 rows, and you can rename all of those. You can actually have more rows than that, so more topics than that. But the big switch is going to be in the options area. This is where you can set things up. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of things in the settings area. The first is where you can change the names of the rows. So right here you can see ebooks, and there are five sites there, and there's mobile. But what if I wanted Jonathan Winters? All I have to do is click on row 3 or 6 and click on rename row and put his name in. So now there's a row called Winters, but there's nothing there yet. Another thing you might want to look at is under the interface section, under general. There's a section to hide the toggle button. Now that toggle button, it says it's in the status bar. That's the button that's in the bottom right corner that I clicked to turn it on and off. So you can see if I click it off, now they're gone. So that's what that's doing. If you don't want to see that toggle button, this is how you would hide that button. A couple more things under the toolbar. How many rows, when you turn it on, how many rows do you want to see? So right now it's listed at 2, but I mean let's change it to 3 since we now have 3 active. You can also automatically hide it after a few seconds. So in other words, there we go, 3. So you can hide it after a few seconds if you want to. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was the position. So right now the rows are at the top, but you can certainly have them at the bottom. And so let's look and see what that looks like. So you can see everything moved to the bottom, but I still have my toggle, so I can turn it on and off. A couple more things. Each row has an icon to the left, and this is a list of everything in the row just in case you can't see them all. Below that is a list of everything that you've put in this add-on, not just in that row, but everything. So the first one is just a list of what you've put in the active row, which right now is ebooks. You can see that it's bolded. But the second one is everything that you have put in this particular add-on. So how do you add things to this? Well, you go up to it, you right-click on the tab, and you want to send it to TooManyTabs, and here you can choose. So I'm going to put it in Winters. So now you can see I see Winters here, and there it is. If I want to send all of them, I can send all of them at one time. Now, since all 3 of them are Winters and there will be nothing left, it'll close the browser if I do that. So I'll just add another one to the Winters area so you can see. So what if you want to get them out? Well, then you would come down to the row, and if you highlight the tab, you'll see an X appear. So you see it comes and it goes. Just click on the X, and now that is gone. If you want to see it, you can click on it, or you can right-click and open all tabs in that one row. So sometimes you want to see everything that's there, not just one at a time. Click and everything in that row shows up. So those are the basics of how TooManyTabs works in Firefox. So I've now done 2 installments of TooManyTabs for an ounce of help. The last one on the Google Chrome version and this one on the Firefox version. To my knowledge, there is not a version for Internet Explorer. So if you're an IE person, you can't use TooManyTabs, but that doesn't mean there isn't something else that does the same thing. So remember, the reason we're looking at this at all is because the more tabs you have open in a browser, the more those tabs are using your computer's memory and your computer's processing power and slowing down your device. So if we can use an extension like this to keep track of the sites that are in your tabs, but move them out of tabs, that should make your computer run a little bit more quickly. So I hope you enjoyed this session of TooManyTabs, and we'll see you next time.